The Happy, Sad, Confused podcast.
Uh-huh.
He always gets a lot of good information, this guy, about a Star Wars reboot, Matthew Vaughn, and what he would do with Star Wars.
I better be twisted on account of his twisted mind.
Absolutely. Said for me, doing a Star Wars...
Do you think he asked for some... Do you think they vet that? Because you know how the trailer for Argyle says from the twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn. Do you think they go, hey, Matthew Vaughn...
Can we say this?
We're going to say you've got a twisted mind. Like, well, actually, I think it's normal. I think I've got a normal mind.
That's rude.
But you would think that. If your mind was so twisted, you would look at all the twisted things you thought and you'd go, this is actually normal for me.
Okay, like Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton, the Joker.
Yeah,
that sort of
that's all normal
stuff.
stuff. Okay. So you're saying that because it's twisted, he doesn't have a twisted mind? Because he's like, I've got a twisted mind. But he doesn't really have a twisted mind? He's like Jared Leto's Joker?
I don't think he has a twisted mind, honestly.
No?
What if his work is twisted?
I mean, Kick-Ass is pretty
Not
subversive.
that
And it
twisted.
it set a different trend in comic book
I don't think it did.
movies.
Of being twisted?
What about when he put Elton John in that movie for a really long time? That was pretty twisted in Kingsman 2.
He wasn't that for a long time.
What about the time when he used Hitler in a post-credits scene?
Was that him?
Yeah.
That is
That was
Matthew
Kick-Ass
Vaughn.
3.
That's pretty
Did we
fun.
talk about that?
Yeah.
No, did we talk about the sequel to that?
Oh, I don't know. But it's happening, right? It's the
It
rise
is
of
happening.
Hitler.
I meant to put
It's
that in this
the
week.
Kingsman sequel, The Rise of Hitler.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going
Right.
to bring this up. Hang on. Oh, no, I can't, Mason. Where is it?
James, we'll just wing it. You don't need any information.
No, I do.
We're just gonna jump in. We'll imagine it.
For those people who don't know, at the end of the Kingsman 3, which was a prequel, at the end they go, well, I'll tell you what, we've got big things planned for you. Adolf Hitler.
And it was a lot of people, including probably us, were like, "Oh, this is a riff on how at the end of every Marvel movie, at the end there's a ridiculous cameo or like a tease for the next thing kind of thing."
Exactly.
And then a lot of people were like, "Well, this is obviously a joke based on that. Like, what's the silliest idea you could throw into what's the most twisted, quite frankly?
Yeah.
You could put in there." And they're like, "Well, what if we teased Hitler as the like a Thanos style?"
Yeah.
So, but apparently they're actually doing
They're going to do it, yeah. I can't remember what that's called, but there is another Kingsman 3 movie, which is going to have Taron Egerton and Colin Firth back.
Yeah.
And that one's called The Blue Blood.
Okay.
So there you go.
And we've talked quite recently about Big Game, which is the comic book series that ties together all the Mark Miller properties, including Kingsman and
The Traitor King, it's called.
Okay, and Kick-Ass and etc. So I wonder, but these would all be separate production companies, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so
Some of them, yeah.
although after all from the Twisted Mind of Matthew Vaughn.
It's true. But yeah, Miller World, some of them were out in other, like he's sold off the rights.
Yeah.
So most are with Netflix, and any that have ongoing contracts, which probably still includes Kick-Ass and this, aren't. But they could probably figure that out.
Okay. So how do you feel about a secret agent movie that's a bit wacky and twisted, but it's also about the rise of Hitler?
Yeah, we'll take on the rise of Hitler and the English.
Bad guy, I think.
Yeah,
I'm going to put my foot down and say I reckon he's a bad guy.
I'm with you on that.
I don't.
We don't agree on much.
Yeah.
But
I'm certainly not on this.
no, we both agree that Hitler was a bad guy.
Oh, okay, right.
Unless you think a different thing.
No, I think that.
Okay. Let's take on the rise of Hitler, the English aristocracy, because, of course, there are links between the English aristocracy and royal family to like German families and also
to a lot of bad stuff.
And also
generally.
directly Nazis.
Yeah,
for a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great, isn't it? Anyways.
I don't think it is great.
No, I think it's great that we know that they love Nazis.
Yeah, that's
I think that's great.
Yeah, it's a good little
and maybe if you probably
signpost.
think you probably think it's great that would be a secret. That's what you probably think.
I don't think that at all.
So the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast asked him about what he'd like Star Wars and doing Star Wars, etc. And he said, for me, doing a Star Wars movie is to play with the characters I love. They said to me they'd reboot Star Wars and actually have Luke Skywalker, Solo, and Vader and do your version of it. Everyone would say you're an idiot to try it, but that would excite me, probably because he's so twisted.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are the characters so hallowed from 1977? You can't redo it for a new audience?
Oh, question mark.
That's right. Star Wars is a Skywalker family, and that's where I think they've gone wrong. They forgot. They've done brilliantly in TV, but it needs handles.
Someone's angling for a job, aren't they?
Yeah, but it needs an epic new film. That's what I do. Everyone is going to go batshit crazy, but let's bring it on. If you want a new generation, make the movie for them. The old generation, hopefully, you make
bunch of squares
well enough and that you enjoy it.
Okay.
So there you bloody go, mate. What do you think of that?
I don't think I want that at all.
Yeah, I'd say why not? Just reboot.
Give it a reboot?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can keep the original timeline and whatever.
So we're talking Skywalker family, Luke and Leia and
Yeah,
Darth
why
Vader
not?
and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Either that or like start something else, like with like different characters in a different part of the universe.
I think the part he said there where he was like, people have lost touch. Should be all about the Skywalkers. They tried that. It didn't work.
No, I don't think they did.
Okay.
I think they haven't had a really good shot at like doing a complete like different part of the universe and whatever.
Okay,
just
yeah.
different people.
Sure.
They haven't had a run at it. It's all like Skywalker adjacent.
That's what I'm saying.
So what am I saying then?
You're saying the same thing that I am, I think.
Okay.
I'm saying that Rise of Skywalker was like all about Skywalker and we're refocusing on the Skywalkers. And I'm saying, and that's what he seems to be talking about here. He's like, well, I'm not doing that. They did and it didn't work. And I think Matthew Vaughn, your mind's so twisted. That's the problem.
It's twisted.
That's your main problem, honestly.
Yeah. Well, if you were to do Star Wars again, how would you even do it though? I mean, you would put yourself in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Presumably, Luke Skywalker.
As everybody.
Everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, like, what would you do differently? Like, do you not telegraph twists? Do you because you can't get to the second movie and go, "I'm your father" or whatever, because it's like
it's true. Yeah.
At this point, it's been 40 years.
Yeah. I'm your mother.
I'm your mother,
and that's how I met your mother.
Because I am your mother?
Yep.
Because I'm that person.
That's correct.
And I always knew me.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's a really good question, Anna. What about a series? What about a series of 15-minute shorts, and you have to go to the movies?
Oh yeah,
like the old movie serials.
Is it $6?
No, it's $25. But I've got you, haven't I?
It's pretty twisted.
I've bloody got you.
It's pretty twisted. You and Matthew Vaughn should start a podcast.
Yeah,
it's called Two Pricks.
That's right.
Two Twisted Pricks.
The Twisty Boys, we could call ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, because they reboot Spider-Man every 4 years.
They do.
And in the comics, there's so many different, like the video, which I haven't yet to play, the new video game, it's a whole different timeline and whatever. And
what about...
But then again, do you want like a new Skywalker saga every 10 years?
No.
Because then you fall into that trap.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What about if it's more like arty? Like it's more like a Kurosawa film. Like it's more kind of like what if it's like dead serious, but it's not, and so it's not like quippy and it's very like
Ronin samurai.
Yeah, militarized, and it's like very like there's not a lot of dialogue and it's kind of I think that's the way I would go. Given unlimited money, and complete installation from fandoms.
Yep.
So I don't have to talk to anyone. I do it like that.
Who was the guy? Because they wanted, Toshiro
Mifune?
Yeah, he was going to be, George Lucas wanted him to be Obi-Wan.
There you go, yeah.
Which would have been pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
And I think he's dead.
Can't get him then.
Yeah.
Does he have family, though? Because we could get his likeness.
Yeah, we can get his likeness. That's the perfect movie.
That's right.
Great.
What about you? What would you do if you had to?
I think, I don't know. I mean, do you go back to like the Star Wars? I think you'd probably work in more, because the original Star Wars is pretty focused on like, you could kind of branch out a little in terms of what else is happening,
You're right.
like due to budget reasons. I think, maybe a more serious, not serious, that's the wrong word.
So, because when I think of like like you said with the Star Wars, when you think about like the Ralph McQuarrie paintings,
like that,
it all feels like kind of desolate.
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel like there's a Han Solo, going around doing quips and like high adventure. It just feels like this kind of like bleak military universe, and there's just like hover tanks rolling in and blowing stuff up, and there's not a lot of dialogue, and that's what it feels like.
Okay, yes. We both agree.
Hitler
is bad.
Yep.
And this thing.
Nice. Great.
Great. Should we move it along?
Let's move it along.